Okay, y'all. Thank you for everyone hopping on. I am Emerald Ambassador Kim Waller. And this is our team call, which I'm really excited because Natalie Knabe has graciously offered to hop on and just pour into y'all just during this season. Right now, I'm not going to do my own team calls, but it is so good to see your face. This is actually the first team call I've been on in over a month. So I'm really glad that you took time out of your night to get on, and I'm excited. I met Natalie a few years ago, actually. I think we met at a leaders retreat, but I can't remember exactly. And y'all, she is amazing. She actually is the mother of 3. I told y'all wrong. I told y'all 2. We won't forget that one other kid, but she's a mother of 3. She's built an amazing business. She's also a photographer on the side, and I'm not going to tell you any more of her story. I'm going to let her talk, but Natalie, thank you for taking time out of your night to pour into us.
Well, thank y'all for having me. My goal is to get us all off of here by 8:30. I don't know how long Kim normally rambles, but I'm really gonna try to get us out of here in 26 minutes. That's my goal. I squirrel a lot and you're gonna have to keep up with me, but my sincerest apologies. It's just, as my friends say, it's what I do. It's kind of how I roll. I'm gonna tell you my really, really quick, condensed Clip Notes version of my story. I am Celeste Gwynn's level 1. I've known her for a really long time. She's amazing. She started posting about not losing muscle tone, but just losing fat. And I was at a point in my life where I was about 37 years old. I've been doing this almost 4 years, so you can do the math. And I was miserable, hated life. I didn't like it. I didn't like how I felt. I was pitching fits about what kind of pizza we were ordering. I was just an unhappy camper. I got on hormone pellets. Those made me rage, so I got on Wellbutrin. So it's like one thing was masking, another was masking another. I was losing weight because I was just so OCD. That was the only thing I could control in my life was my weight loss. And so I was like running every single day. I was to the point in my life where I was kind of just tired of pouring in everybody else. I'm just going to keep it real. It's like I was a mom of 3. At that point, I was married. I had another business, and I was the breadwinner of the house with the photography business, which was wasn't easy in itself. And I was done. I was tapped out. Have y'all ever had those moments where you're like, I'm out? Who tags me in, because I'm there? And that's where I was. I was 37, and Celeste posted this, and I've tried every single weight loss remedy there is. And I thought, what the hey, what's one more, right? So off and running I went. I knew it was network marketing, but every male in my family is in the financial industry. And so to them, this was a pyramid scheme. So I was going upstream on anybody even buying into this hocus pocus that I was doing. So I did it on my own. I didn't tell anybody. And so I went, and like I said, I have 3 children. I don't joyfully go upstairs, but this week I joyfully cleaned the upstairs. And I sat down, I was like, what is wrong with you? You haven't done anything joyfully in a while, and you cleaned the upstairs within the first week. And so, if you take another diet supplements, your hair stands up on top of your head, and you feel like you're racing, and you're like, I didn't feel any of that. I was just very calm. And here's the funny part. I didn't know until years later why I was so joyful, but it was the 5-HTP in the accelerator that was making me joyful. I'm not an ingredient person at all. And so anyway, I didn't realize that that's what was making me joyful. I went back to the doctor, ended up losing weight. He got me off the Wellbutrin. I stopped everything cold turkey except my Synthroid. I have a thyroid disorder, and even that's a little wonky. It's bittersweet because they can't get that regulated, right? I have too much or I have too little, which is kind of a good place to be. I try to find the glory in everything, and so I feel like $1 million. I'm not even kidding. My world has changed. I started feeling better, and one of the things that was 3 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. So in 14 months, I went Emerald. Guys, I wasn't going to start a business. I wasn't working this. This was just ridiculous. I was ignorant. I really thought, I'm not going to do that pink car thing, because, that's what you think of. Everybody thinks of network marketing as that pink car company. I was like, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. Well, in harsh reality, I was just being ignorant about it. So my first check came in. It was a couple $100. I wasn't going to post on Facebook. I just wasn't. And I've said this in front of Celeste, and I'm going to tell it to you girls. We started the same month. I was one of her first 10 ambassadors to join her team. Let that sink in for a minute. We grew up in the same small town. She immediately shared. I didn't immediately share. I had an older lady, you know, you love older people because they can ask those questions that nobody else can get away with asking. This older woman at the end of a presentation I did, she goes, what did you do wrong? And I was like, what did I do wrong? Well, you answer the question for me. What did I do wrong? I mean, I do believe that everything's on our own time, but in hindsight, what if I'd started sharing, you know, many months prior to? I tell Celeste this all the time. I'm like, there are people on your team that like me better. They just do, right? We grew up together, and there are people that they're like, I really kind of dig that Natalie chick. I'd much rather tell her about my bowel movements or my weight loss than tell you. But I said, they didn't know I was an option. And I say that kidding, but it's true too, right? Isn't that what network marketing is all about? It's about you letting people know that you're there and you loving on people and caring about people. And so to answer that old lady's question, what I did wrong was I didn't share. But I didn't really do anything wrong, right? Because I do feel like we're right where we're supposed to be on its journey. But my point is, I kind of squirreled there, but my point is, bringing it back is, had I not at least started sharing, I'm gonna go to the end of my story. I'm recently divorced. I'm able to keep my kids in the same house. So I didn't, not that that matters, but it does to them. You know, when you're a kid, you're home, that's really important to you. And I didn't even realize how important that was until I started saying we might have to change some things. And my 3 kids, their world was already crashing down, right? But then to have that being potential. Anyway, so my point is, you have to work this business today for what you don't know might happen in the future. Okay, you really do. Had I not worked that business, or let me just say, had that business not started working me, I don't know where my life would be. It would be in a completely different place. And I will tell you, I am so, so thankful for this business and for this network of people that I've met. My face is going to get flushed because I'm going to get emotional. But the point is you guys have got to work this now. And if you're in, I'm going to start crying. If you're in a season or that's not a happy season for you, you've got to continue to work it. You can't stop, because this business is what got me through some of the roughest times of my life. And I know we all have different rough seasons, right? But if it had not been for my amazing team and me wanting to lead them and feeling they were my life at that point, other than my 3 kids. But I got to tell you, that divorce was the roughest thing that I've ever gone through. Like, I don't even want to relive it because we get along now, but there were times, I'm not kidding, I was looking for a cliff. Praise the Lord that Dallas doesn't have a lot of cliffs, right? Because, I mean, I say that kind of kidding, but there were days where it's like, if I could just crawl into a rabbit hole and go away, I'd crawl into a rabbit hole. And I know that most of us women can relate to that, but what I'm telling you is, I want you to find the glory in your business, and I want you to find the joy in your team, and I want you to continue. I don't want you to stop, because you need this. Your team needs this. If something might happen in 15 months from now where you're going to go, I'm so glad I listened to Natalie and really started working my business, or continued to work my business, or loved on my team just a little bit more, because I could have never foreseen where I was going to be in a year from now, in 15 months, in 16 months, whatever the case may be. I don't know all of y'all's faith, but I have and the good Lord, he held my hand through this entire divorce, because let me tell you, had he not been holding my hand, I would have found a cliff. He was holding my hand. He was loving on me. There were days I didn't think he was loving on me, you know, because sometimes our prayers aren't the ones that he's going to answer, right? Because he knows better. I'm not going to go all churchy on you, but I got to tell you, just when you want to give up, when you want to stop working, when you feel like, what am I doing? Nobody's listening to me. I don't even have a team. I'm falling apart. This is going on. It's not. There is at least one person on your team, I promise you, that needs you and is hearing you, and you have to keep going. You have to keep going for yourself. So when I was in that difficult time, did I curl up in bed and did I stay in bed? Yeah, I stayed in bed a lot. And you know what? I had my pity party. Here's what I did. I allowed myself one pity party a week. I had to make it a damn good one, because I only got one. I made it good. It was the best pity party you guys have ever seen. But I put on my big girl panties and I went back out there. I had to. I had 3 kids depending on me. 3 kids watching my every move. But what I really wanted to do was hibernate. I wanted to find that rabbit hole and I wanted to dig deep into it. And you know what? Plexus pulled me out. It really did. Had I not had my Plexus team and had I not had my Plexus business to remotivate me, to give me something to focus on, that there were days where I felt guilty, right? We women like to feel guilty about things. We're like, here I am in the middle of whatever trying situation you've got going on, and maybe you feel guilty for working your business. Are we supposed to feel guilty? No, we're not supposed to feel guilty. You know, or maybe we think we're not good enough, we're not leading good enough, we're not this. Yeah, you are. Whatever you're able to do that day, that's the best you can do, and that's all anybody's asking of you, honestly. So I know that this team, I know y'all have a lot going on, and I know y'all are a loving and compassionate team, and when one of y'all feels, then all of y'all feel. But gives me chills just thinking about what an amazing team that Kim's told me you girls are, and you guys, Brett, sorry, girls and one guy. It looks like there's a guy in here. Anyway, you got to keep going. And more than anything, your team needs you to keep going, right? I got to tell you, when I was going through mine, there were only a few people, because I'm a pretty private person. For me to even just tell you guys that I wanted to go into a rabbit hole was a pretty big deal. But I was a very private person. I put on a pretty face. Everything was always perfect. Natalie held her composure, everything was wonderful in Natalie's world, because that's what we women do too, right? We make it always look like it's really pretty while we're dying on the inside. It's okay. It is okay to have those feelings on the inside, but you got to keep going. You have to keep going. My team, I needed that paycheck every 15th, right? I had to have it. I needed it. And my team, the few that knew what was going on in my world, they kept it alive. They really did. And I'm forever grateful for them. But they couldn't keep it alive forever for me. I finally had to get off my pity party and get back out there. And they welcomed me with open arms. And I'm just so thankful that I have this business. And there was something that I found. I'm going to kind of cheat and read it to you for a minute. It was something that I found. It said, 7 tips to surviving tough times. And I'll give you all the website, but I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to rattle off the 7 tips. 1, stop being the victim mentality. I was doing that with myself, right? I was acting like I'm the victim. I'm the only one that ever struggles. I'm the only one that's having this horrible time. Hold on one second. Let me see. Okay. I'm the only one, right? We can't do that. Number 2, trash the worry. That's the whole guilt thing. We women, we worry so much about what other people are thinking of us. If you know in your heart of hearts that you're doing the right thing and you're doing what's best for you and you're doing what's best for your family and you're doing what's best for your team, that's all that matters, right? We don't have to explain ourselves to anybody. I'm in my 40s now, and I love being in my 40s. I got divorced and turned 40 all in the same year. And it's almost kind of like I just took off the shield and I was like, I don't give a rat's ass anymore about what anybody thinks of me, right? That's where I don't like to be recorded all the time. But I didn't care, but I was loving about it, right? I just kind of gave up that worry. Okay, number 3, conquer the fear. We all have so much fear in our lives, right? Every single day. Fear of being accepted, fear of being rejected, fear of this, fear of that. Just give up the fear. Do you know what the fear is to me? Fear is the devil. Fear is the devil telling every single one of us that we aren't good enough and that we aren't capable of doing something, whatever it is we want. And that's hogwash, okay? We're going to conquer the fear. Number 4, perceive problems appropriately. I got to tell you, there were some days where I was looking for that rabbit hole and everything in my world sucked. It was horrible. The clothes weren't washed the right way, or a meal taste. Everything was just so much worse than it really was. And I finally just had to go, Natalie, you're breathing today. That is a good thing. You guys are healthy. You have a car to drive. You have a roof over your head. You have food. I mean, I got to where during that season and even still now, I don't take anything for granted. I was picking up my kids' shoes the other day and I was like, I have shoes to pick up, right? I mean, you got to stop and just really embrace the glory everywhere you find it. Even a pair of dirty, skid-marked underwear that my little man leaves laying around. I'm so glad I have them to pick up, right? Right? Where before I was like, dude, let me help you with that. Perceive problems appropriately. That is like our main thing. It's not nearly as big as we think they are. 5, ask yourself if a major life lesson awaits. I love self-reflection. I didn't always self-reflect very well. I love to self-reflect now. I go, Natalie, did you handle that the best of your ability? What are you supposed to learn from that lesson? I knew the whole time that my messy divorce was going on and even my messy marriage was going on. I had to stop and ask myself a lot of questions. I had to self and reflect a lot of times. Big, hard self-reflections. I remember one pastor asked me one time, in fact, he's actually the husband of a jewel. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but he asked me one time, he goes, Natalie, did you get married for what you wanted or for what the good Lord wanted for you? Dude, I'd already self-reflected. I did what I wanted to do, right? How'd that work out for me? Obviously, I got some great things from that marriage. But that was 5. Ask yourself if a major life lesson awaits. And sometimes I think you have to just trust and go, something beautiful is going to come out of this mess. Something beautiful is going to come out of this mess. And you have to sit there and wait for it and be patient. Practice faith. I know, right? That's hard. It is really hard to practice faith, but you just have to have faith that everything is going to turn out exactly how it's supposed to be. There are days I still struggle with that. I had a bad day yesterday. One of those days. Brave on with a smile. I love that. Fake it till you make it, right? And there are days where I'm having a bad day and I'm really an introvert. People are oftentimes surprised by that, but I make myself go to Target. Or I make myself call a girlfriend on the phone. I don't like talking on the phone. I make myself do things that are a little uncomfortable because I need to brave on with a smile. I need to, even if I break down with that person, even if I break down with them, you need that love and compassion of another human being. And I think that was the last one. Yeah. And I can chat that link down there, but I love what she had to say about just how we need to survive tough times. And excuse me, I'm going to unlock the door for my crew. Through my divorce, I had to get a really nice home security system. So the glory in that is that I can unlock the door from this phone. There we go. Look at that. See, you got to find the glory in everything. And you have to be able to laugh at life, right? Okay. There we go. It's unlocked. Anywho, and I could also see him walk in. But here's the glory. Today is my ex-husband's birthday. And guess what I did for him? Because I'm such a wonderful person. Are you ready for this? I made him his favorite cake and his favorite icing. And I did not spit in it. I did not poison it in any way, shape, or form. So, right? Kudos to me. You can come through on the other side. That's it. And I'm going to also be real with y'all and say that through that trying time, I lost rank a little bit. Okay? Why did I lose rank? Because I wasn't working it, right? It was partially my fault. I can't expect everybody else to be doing their job, my job for me, right? So, hold on. Now they don't think that the door is unlocked. My daughter, yes. Sorry. What was I saying though? Oh, I lost rank. And you know why I lost rank? Tried to self-reflect on that too. 2 folds. 1, I was blowing and going. I was taking advantage of my team a little bit. I was so thankful for them, but I wasn't working it as much as I should have been. And as I'm rebuilding rank, guess what? It's kind of like picking up those skid mark underwear. I'm like so thankful for every extra point I get now. Like just, I cry. Like last month, my points went up, and guess what I did? I cried. Like I didn't take it for granted anymore. And that's another thing. I used to not cry in front of anybody. I don't care anymore. I'm an emotional person. If I want to cry, I'm going to cry. Because you know what that does too? It helps people to relate to you. And it's okay for people to see you struggle. Because the more that they see you struggle, then they're like, wow, that person's real too. I'm going to kind of dig her chili now that I know how real she is, right? I mean, people like real people. So I guess I've got 8 minutes. Look at me. I'm doing really well. Patting myself on the back over here. It's hard to talk to y'all when y'all aren't talking back, but at least I can see y'all's faces. Have y'all ever done a live call and nobody's talking back and can't see anything? Oh my goodness. Live calls those are really hard for me. Anyway, so the whole point in all of this is life can really stink sometimes, but you all have an amazing thing with this business Plexus. You have amazing comp plans. You have amazing leaders. You have an amazing leader sitting right there. Well, Kim's sitting up in my corner. Sitting right there. You have people that love you and will support you and will do anything for you, as I know that Kim has seen during this season. But I don't know what all of y'all are going through, but just keep the faith. You have to keep working. Had I not kept working, my house would have been taken away. My kids' lives would have been turned up even more upside down. You know, and they're 13, 10, and 7. We know as adults that there are bigger fish to fry than where you live, but they don't know that, right? They don't know that at this stage in the game. Those are big, big things to them. We all have the potential to make this business as much as we want or as little as we want. And to me, pouring into my business during this challenging time was a blessing. I was so thankful that I had my team, sending me messages, even if they were asking a silly question. Guess what? I felt so needed in that time and was able to then turn around and say, thank y'all for needing me, because that's what I needed. I needed to be needed, right? I needed to be needed by somebody other than my 3 precious kids or my ex-husband needing something from me. You know, it was so nice to be needed by loving people. So y'all don't forget that either. So everybody go message Kim right now some silly little question. She's going to love me for that one. But I know y'all are everybody has something that's going on in their lives, but you cannot. Here's the main thing. I know we as women feel like we're being watched all the time. Well, if I work my business too much, what is this person thinking? If I'm doing this, what is this person doing? If I'm doing that, I remember when my father-in-law passed away suddenly, and my mother-in-law, you know, everybody's watching her, right? Because she's the spouse. And she pulled me aside one time. We had a really good relationship. And she said, I'm not crying. Should I feel guilty? And I said, no, you shouldn't feel guilty. First off, nobody knows what it looks like behind closed doors with you, right? Maybe you realize, maybe your faith is so strong that you realize he's in a better place and you're really okay with it. Come to find out, his cancer had come back and nobody else knew it but her. And so she was rejoiced that he was taken so suddenly. So she found the glory in it, right? But all the while, she was so consumed with what everybody else was thinking, what everybody else thought she should be doing, instead of just taking care of herself. You know, sometimes there is a time in our lives where it is okay to be selfish. It is okay. I'm going to say that again. It is okay to be selfish. It is okay to take care of yourself and your heart. I mean, obviously, don't let your kids, you know, whatever. I mean, you got to still take care of responsibilities, but it is okay to do things for the betterment of yourself and for your well-being and for your sanity and for your household. It is okay to take care of those things and not worry about what the world is thinking. And I know we as women, that is really hard. It was hard for me. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I kept it on the down low, that I was going through everything, because I didn't want the attention. I didn't want everybody asking me what was going on in my life. I didn't. And to me, if the more I told, the more real it made it too, right? I didn't want it to be real. I didn't want what was going on in my life to be real. So if I couldn't go into a rabbit hole, I'd just rather go into, you know, working my business like a madwoman. And thankfully I did, because my life would look completely different right now if I hadn't. So my main point to all of y'all is, y'all are an amazing team. You got to keep the momentum up. I don't know what's going on in everybody's lives. I'm sure every single one of us could raise our hand and say, I'm in kind of a season right now, or I just came out of a season and I can feel I'm really coming into a season. But what I want y'all to do, without preaching anymore, I've got 4 more minutes, is I want you guys to dig deep in your business and work at the best of your ability, and do it because you want to, because your team needs you to. And I want you to do it without feeling guilt. I want you to do it without being fearful of what others are going to think. Just get out there. It's so funny. I'm going to scroll for a minute. Some of y'all, I'm like, Trisha Myers, is that really a picture of you? Or wave? It's not a picture of her. She's just like, I couldn't tell. It's like, is that a picture or not? Some of y'all have pictures up. I'm sorry, Trisha. I kind of squirreled on you because I thought she was moving a second ago and now she's not moving. Anyway, I hope that y'all have gotten something from me. That was the main thing I wanted to share with y'all, is that life can suck sometimes, right? But you got to find the glory in it, and you got to keep going somehow. And I have to tell you, if it weren't for my Plexus business, I don't really know where I would be. I don't know where I'd be emotionally. I don't know where I'd be spiritually. I don't know, nor do I want to know where I'd be financially. So You also have to work today for something that you might not know is going to happen to you or to a loved one in 13, 14, 15, 16 months down the road. You have to keep working, right? You got it. And I'm sure if y'all are all on this call, then you all love what you do, right? Can we all say yes? We can all say yes, right? So I want you to work it like you love it, right? Work it like you love it. And keep loving on those people and keep sharing, the wonderful products that we have and the comp plan that we have and the camaraderie that all of us have. I can tell you, I've been a school teacher for many years. I own my own photography business, but I've never, ever in 41 and a half years of my life have ever met a group of people like these Plexus people. And it's a blessing, isn't it? Aren't we a blessing? I think we all are. I love just rubbing elbows with y'all. I love meeting y'all. I'm gonna enjoy some of y'all going, hey, I was on that call. Oh, good. So nice to meet you in person. I'm gonna love all of that. I mean, we are truly one Plexus. As corny as that sounds sometimes to say, I mean, we really are. And I know that Kim is so blessed that y'all are all on her team, and she's so thankful for every single one of y'all. But I know our seasons are rough. I know they are. But take it from somebody who's been through a rough season. What got me through that rough season was you guys, was my Plexus team, with my Plexus people, and working, all of us linking arms and working together. So I hope that y'all got something out of that. And if you have any questions, I have a few minutes. Kim, do you open it up?
I do actually have a question. I have a couple questions for you. That was great, Natalie. Thank you so much. And I am going to say, whenever you said work your business because you don't know what's going to happen, that is the truth. I mean, I can think of, I started telling people that statistic, we're all one surgery. Most people is one surgery away from bankruptcy, right? And we're not about to file bankruptcy, obviously, but y'all, medical bills aren't a joke. I've never seen anything like it. Now that we're 4 weeks out, I'm blown away. And so this business is a blessing, because if you would have told me 4 weeks ago that my life would have been turned upside down, I wouldn't have believed it. I never thought it would happen to us. And the business is a blessing because it is also now a distraction. So, Natalie, I know I have a lot of single mamas on the call, or busy moms. How did you build your business as a single mom? So you don't have help in the evenings, your kids, with homework and things like that. So how did you find time to build your business?
I am sleep deprived. I'm not going to lie. I stayed up until 1 o'clock and I'd get up at 5 o'clock. You just do it, right? I mean, when you look at those faces, you just do it. And it's interesting because when Chris and I were married, we still had some of the issues that I have today, but I just don't have him to rely on anymore. He was almost my security blanket in a lot of ways, and I didn't even realize it until afterwards. So to answer your question, fear probably kept me going because it's just me. It's just me. I mean, I could call him up, but it wasn't the same, right? And so I had to change my mindset, and I'm very goal oriented, and I like to tackle difficult things. So I just pretty much, I'll tell you how I really did it. I am one of those, I acted like I was at the doctor's office, okay? And so I had a to-do list. So I would make up a to-do list. As cheesy as this sounds, it works, my friend. 5:30, feet hit the floor. I'm not kidding. 5:45, coffee pot. 6. And so if I found that at 6:20, I hadn't done all that stuff 50 minutes prior, I was already behind. Instead of just having a to-do list, right? Because a to-do list, you underestimate how long it's going to take something to get done. So with a to-do list, it was easy for me just to kind of, whatever, go back to bed, have my pity party, look for my cliff, whatever I was going to do that day. But if I had it timed out, literally 15 minutes, drive kids to school was on my list. And guess what? When I got to highlight that I did that, snaps for me. Really, it's another thing. You have to pat yourself on the back a lot. Because you deserve that. And I also had to find the glory in everything. The glory that day might have been that my feet hit the ground, right? And I didn't yell at all my kids. I just yelled at one of them that day. And another thing, you're human. You are human, and you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to own it. That was another thing, Kim, that I had to do, is I had to apologize a lot. I was like, I'm not nice today, and I'm so sorry. I'm going to do better tomorrow. But I hope that, like, I had to alter my time schedule. So, and it was doing voice messages versus typing them out. It was doing live calls instead of Zoom calls, because live calls I could schedule. If I found myself with 20 minutes, oh, there's my team call. I'm going to do it right then and there, and they can tag their team and they can go back and watch it later. Because Zoom calls were becoming a real struggle for me, and I was feeling like a failure as a leader because that was so hard. But a lot of times, yes, Facebook Live, yes, ma'am, that's what I mean. And so because you can put it on your team page, and then you can tag all your people. Or you can even say, I'm feeling a live call coming on in about 30 minutes. Now, if you don't do it in 30 minutes, whoop-de-doo, right? It's not like you got a boss just going to come get you. That was also a glory, too. So I changed some things around. I still made my team a priority. I still tried to take, still tried to love on them. But if I had, if I had something that I thought was important, I wouldn't wait until that Zoom call. So now they actually like it. They're like, we get more little snippets of you because you do little lives here and there, and that doesn't take long, right? Voice messages, a lot of voice messages. And guess what? A lot of stuff I did. I let it sit there until I could get to it. Because I used to be one of those that I didn't manage my time well, but I thought I was. I would sit there and I felt like, oh, if a message came in, I had to answer it right then and there. But you don't have to. You do not have to answer it right then and there. You can spend 30 minutes at the end of the day and answer all that stuff at one time. And if they quickly respond to you, what a cute little girl over there at Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. They have her name on there. Anyway, that's
your daughter.
Oh, she's cute. Anyway, that you kind of have to just revamp, and that's okay because everybody will get on board with you. Did I answer that question? I mean, I just scheduling it out. And if I didn't get everything I wanted to get done that day, but maybe I wasn't looking for a clip, it was still a good day. So I just rolled it into the next day. I asked for a lot of grace and I asked for a lot of mercy. And let me tell you, they gave it to me. They wanted to. People love to love on other people. And so that's what helped me get through. There were some days where I had to hand off the torch to a couple of my other jewels. And thankfully they did it for me.
I don't want to I know it's 8:35. Do you have time for one more question?
Of course I do, yes.
Okay. You said that you were building your team and then you realized you kind of took a laid back approach. You weren't working it. So what did you do in the midst of all this where you decided, I'm going to start working my business? You've been doing this for 4 years. Obviously, you've Facebook messaged people like crazy. So tell me, what did you do to expand on your list? And then also, what was the aha moment where you decided, I'm going to start working? And then what did you do?
I went back to where I originally started. A lot of times we want to reinvent the wheel. And I was trying to make it harder than it really was. And I thought, what is my problem? So here's what I do. I have about half my people on Facebook are Plexus people, right? And so what I do is, and I wish I could show y'all, but I can probably type out the direction because it's a lot simpler than how I'm going to make it sound. So what I would do is I would open up a tab on my Facebook, and I'd hit my page and I'd go to friends. Well, I'd start scrolling through, where you can see all your friends, right? And if you just run your little cursor, your little mouse over their name, you okay? Hold on a second. What? Are you feeling bad? Okay, just give me 2 minutes, okay, baby? You can come lay right here if you want to. Are you sick again? You need a puke bucket?
Oh my goodness. Do you need to go?
It's my little man now. My little buddies. Anyway, he was looking pretty tired. So what I would do is I would go to that and I would keep that tab open all the time. And so I'd roll over somebody's name and then I'd hit message. It'll allow you to message right there. And so I'm looking at Kathy. So I'm going to use Kathy as an example. So I'd roll over Kathy and it would pull her up and I'd go, oh, I already messaged Kathy like 3 weeks ago. It's time to do it again. Hot diggity dog. So I'd message Kathy again. And it might be as simple as, hey, your kids are getting so cute. They're getting so big. just kind of dripping on them. I could do a whole series on how I drip on people, like little droplets until they're a sponge, and then they have no choice but to ask me what the hey I'm doing. And so then I would just kind of drop on her. I just love on her a little bit. I love to love on people, and people love to be loved on, right? So I'd say that, or I'd say, hey, it jogged my memory to go, hey, Kathy, you told me you were interested in the probio. How are your bowel movements working for you? And so then we'd start that communication up again. And then I'd go down and I'd hit another one, and I'd go, I haven't messaged her in a month. Guys, you forget, right, who you've messaged and who you haven't. So I always have 2 tabs open on my computer. I get real excited about this. Can you tell? Because it works. It works. So I have 2 tabs. I have one that's got all my friends people, and you're going to have to scroll past all those Plexus people that you see all the time. And then I have another tab that's that are my messengers, the people. And what's fun to me is to see that thing start to blink, and I'm like, woo, we got a live one here. Somebody's responded to me. So then I go back over there and I respond. And that right there in itself, getting a couple people to say, even if they say no, you know what no means? Not right now. Doesn't mean no forever. It means no right now, right? Because they don't know. We have to educate them. Anyway, so it could go all. You want me to come back? You want me to come back Sunday? I'm coming back Sunday.
I'm like, girl, we need a live video for this.
So that's what
we're going. What tabs and what friends?
Well, I can only do it on my computer. So if I'm on my computer and I'm on Facebook, then I hit my own self. I search myself, and I get into my page and I hit friends, and all of my friends show up. 2,000 whatever of them. So I scroll through until it's somebody that's not Plexus related, who's not on my team, who's not a Plexus, sister, or isn't already taking the products. And then I hit, you can run your little cursor, your little mouse right over their name, and it'll hit up their little message. You don't have to leave that screen, and then the little message thing pops up and you can message them. If you previously messaged them, it reminds you that you previously messaged them. Do you want me to do a video for you, Kim, for your team page? I'll do a video for you. I'll show you how simple it is, and it's really kind of fun. And then every single day, like I have too many pieces of paper everywhere, so this is just easy for me. And I always keep that tab up, and I always keep my messenger tab up so I can go back and forth. And that, my friends, it'll re-jazz you. It'll re-energize you. Okay, so, and I'm going to spend just a couple more minutes. So your excuse is going to be, I already went through everybody on my friends list, right? Because how many of y'all are already thinking that? Okay, well, hogwash. That's where you go join Camp Gladiator or Bible study, or you go, all of a sudden you got new friends in the neighborhood, and you just casually friend them. Now, don't friend them and then puke Plexus all over them. You love on them first, right? And then it just becomes a natural progression. So that's what I always tell people when they're like, I don't have any friends left. Yeah, you do. This is what I tell my team, until every single person on your friends list is taking Plexus, you're not tapped out. Right? So that's how I rejazzed myself. I basically just went back to my hundreds list, except I was too lazy to actually write them out. So I just went through my friends list, and I'll do a quick video for y'all on how I did that.
Well, I know you need to go and take care of your little man. I'm going to pray, if you don't mind, real quick, and then we'll hang up. So, Lord, thank you so much for just this team. Thank you for just the blessing of Plexus, and mostly, Lord, thank you for Natalie tonight, just pouring into our team and loving on us. Father, I just pray your blessing over her, over her business, that she would just reap what she has sown tonight, that you would just enlarge her territory. God, I pray that you would just give her grace tonight. Just help her as she takes care of her kids, puts them to bed. Father, that you just give them love in their home. Father, I lift up every person on this call, that they would just be inspired, that no matter what season that we're in, Lord, that you are in their midst, and that we put our feet to the ground and get working. Thank you, Lord, for this mighty blessing. In Jesus' name, amen.
That was awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate it so much.
Okay, I was making sure nobody had any questions. If y'all have any questions, you can find me on Facebook and message me.
Oh, let me see. Hold on. There's 3 chats. Did somebody say? Okay.
Thank you. And then a question. So no, I think we're
okay.
Good. Yeah. Thank y'all for allowing me to be a part of y'all's Monday night. And I truly appreciate y'all. And I will get that video over to Kim, and you guys are going to get fired up. I can feel it.
You're awesome. I appreciate it.
All right. Bye. Good night. Love you, Kim.
Good night. Love you.